What is post-betrayal syndrome, you ask? Let me tell you. It's a collection of symptoms that can occur after you've experienced a betrayal from someone you trust. These symptoms can affect you emotionally, mentally, and physically. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had feelings of anxiety, depression, confusion, decreased self-esteem, nightmares, panic attacks, feelings of wanting to beat somebody's ass? And here's a big one. You no longer trust anyone. I'm guilty. I experienced all those things. Okay, let me get a little bit into my story and why it made me who I am today. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't need to see a therapist so I can get some healing. I'm being nosy. I'm looking out my window at the same time. But growing up, I had a lot of toxic friendships. These friends, I didn't know that they were not my friends until certain things started happening. All right, so I'm going to give you a name. I'm not going to give you the person's real name, but I'm just going to tell you a story of what had happened to me. I had a childhood friend growing up. We lived on the same block. And let's say her name is, let's say her name is Jody. No, that's a boy name. Let's say her name is Sonia. Okay, so her name is Sonia. And I don't know, she was doing some type of shady stuff behind, people's backs or, behind the scenes. And one day she had called me and asked me if she can give me a check to cash in my bank account because she does not have one. So immediately my spider senses went off because I'm like, that's strange. So I said, is your name on the check? And she said no. So I said to her, I was like, no, I don't feel comfortable with that because, I don't know. It just felt like it was all wrong. So that same friend, another situation had occurred where, I don't know, we were in our 20s and she said to me, oh, I have to go because her brother and her sister-in-law lived in Massachusetts at the time. So at that time, I'm in my young 20s. I grew up very strict with my mom. So she really wouldn't let me go anywhere or go out anywhere or do anything really because she lived in fear. Like she was afraid of something happening to me. So I understand why she was the way she was now that I'm an adult and with the world that we're living in. Okay, moving forward. She said to me, oh, I'm going to go visit my brother and my sister-in-law in Massachusetts. Do you want to ride along with me? It's about a 3-hour drive from where we live. So I said, sure. I was excited to be actually going somewhere. So I packed my stuff. I went with her to go see her in-laws in Massachusetts. We rode about 3 hours on the highway, and finally when we got there, as soon as she pulled up in front of her in-laws, her brother and her sister-in-law's house, she opens up the glove compartment and pulls out this big rock of crack. Yeah, you heard what I said, crack. And I looked at her and I immediately went off. I was like, why would you do something like that? She was like, well, if I would have told you, you wouldn't have came. I was like, are you out of your mind? That's trafficking. So we're riding on the highway for 3 hours. The possibility of the police stopping us and checking the car and finding that, I probably will go to jail for like 10 years. Mind you, this is something that I knew nothing about. She didn't even tell me. So with that situation, it took a few other things that she did to make me say, you know what? I don't trust this girl. I'm cutting her off. And I cut her off. I cut her family off. Mind you, we lived on the same block. She moved on my block when she was 9 years old. I think I was like maybe 10 or 11 at the time. So we used to play together as kids. We used to have fun, go to each other's house, just, hang out. I would go with her and her mom to church and all these other places. So I trusted that she would not do something like that to me. So I would say that is the beginning of feeling deep betrayal. Because I'm thinking to myself, the possibility that a state trooper could have stopped us, how would I even fight that charge? How would I fight that charge? I genuinely did not know that this girl had a huge ball of crack in the glove compartment. So I would, if I can remember correctly, that was really what nailed the head on the coffin. Now, we remained friends, but I really wasn't that close with her. And there were other things that she did that really, really oh my gosh, I realized that this girl truly was not a friend. Now, fast forwarding to what really ended our relationship, our friendship, because I was extremely devastated. She had a boyfriend who she was seeing, and her boyfriend's best friend had a girlfriend. So that's how I met this other young lady. And at the time, I was pregnant with my first daughter and, in a relationship with my daughter's father. And, everything was okay. The normal young people relationship stuff, as, pretty much is what was going on. And what happened was the girl who was friends or who brought that young lady into our friend group, her boyfriend unfortunately passed away. So as girlfriends, we rallied around her. We were trying to be there for her, console her, and just, give her money because after her boyfriend had passed away, they pretty much were paying for the apartment together. She had a car. She was behind on her rent. She was behind on her car payment. And we were trying to do the best that we could to try to help her. Mind you, I'm young. I'm not making that much money. And I have a young child. So what happened was let me sit down. Her boyfriend had passed. Okay, it's been maybe a year or two. And, she's no longer in a relationship. And what she did for the girl who, what her name, Sonia? Okay, so what she did for the girl named Sonia was Sonia needed a car, but she had bad credit. So she asked the girl, what's her name? Let's say her name is Teresa. So she asked Teresa, can you put a vehicle in my name and I'll pay you the car insurance monthly? So Teresa agreed to purchase the car from a dealership for Sonia. And what happened was Sonia, she paid the car insurance or the car payment for the first month. But following that, she wasn't paying it. And she was allowing her boyfriend to drive the car. He was parking any and anywhere, getting tickets upon tickets upon tickets. And Teresa was getting all these tickets in the mail. So she was complaining that she's not paying the car payment for, she just paid for 1 month. And then after that, she hasn't been paying. and she's letting her boyfriend take the car and get tickets and not giving me the money for the tickets. So of course, amongst our friend group, I'm pillow talking, we're gossiping amongst each other, and we're like, oh, do you know that Sonia is doing this to Teresa? And I told my boyfriend that she is, what Sonia is doing to Teresa. So my boyfriend hears this and he backtrack. My boyfriend used to try to ask me to put a car in my name, insurance and car payment, and that he would pay for it monthly. But my mama taught me from when I was young, don't you ever put anything in your name for anybody, because these men will have you do that, leave you high and dry, and jack up your credit before you can even use the little bit of credit that you have. And in the future, when it's time for you to want to purchase your own car, and when it's time for you to purchase your own house, your credit is jacked. And not because of your own doing, because of someone else. So that's always been etched in my head, where I refuse to do anything of that sort. Okay, fast forward to what I was talking about. So I'm telling my boyfriend what Sonia is doing to Teresa. And that made a light bulb go off in his head. I didn't know that he didn't do this. So what he did was he went behind my boyfriend went behind my back and reached out to Sonia, my childhood friend who I grew up with on the same block, and asked her, can Teresa put a car in her name and insurance for him? Because I refused to do it for him. Mind you, he used to tell me, oh, you don't love me because you won't put anything in your name. Bullshit. My mother taught me, and I stuck with what she taught me. So behind my back, he reaches out to Sonia. Sonia gives my boyfriend Teresa's number, and he calls Teresa and said, I will pay you $1,200 and pay off all your tickets if you put a car and insurance in your name for me. Guess what? The bitch did it. So for 6 months, every single time I'm riding in the car with my boyfriend, he is going into the glove compartment and pulling out paperwork. Even if he's going to the supermarket, if he's going in the house to go get something real quick, it doesn't matter if he's going to somebody's house to go grab something, or if he's going in the store or a restaurant, he's pulling that paperwork out of the glove compartment. Red flag for me. Because I'm looking at his movements and I'm like, okay, that's weird. Why every single time he's getting out of the car, he does that? Fast forward. So my boyfriend gets arrested. Now, this is 6 months. 6 months. At the 6 months mark, to my knowledge, I found out this has been going on for 6 months. At the 6 month mark, my boyfriend gets arrested. And his car, I have to go get his car from wherever it was that he got arrested at. Like, he had to leave his vehicle wherever it was when he was arrested. So I had to go and retrieve his car. So I get his car. I didn't think anything of it. I pull up in front of Sonia's house, and she gets in the car, because she gets in my boyfriend's car, and my boyfriend's car is tinted. Now, I don't know what the rules are in your state, but in my state, your cars cannot be darker than a certain percentage. And my boyfriend's car, the tints were darker than the approved percentage. So I'm talking with Sonia while she's sitting in the car, and I was like, you know what? If I get stopped by the police because his tints are so dark, I'm going to have to provide my license and the registration and the paperwork. So Sonia is like, oh, word. But the way she responded, now that I think back, I'm like, that explains why she responded the way she did, because she knew what was going on. Mind you, this is my friend from childhood. This is a girl that she only knew for less than a year. Listen up. So, um, she's looking with me. So I'm looking at the top visor and she's looking in the glove compartment and the paperwork falls out. So I grab the paperwork and I look at it and I see Teresa's first and last name on the paperwork. I was shocked. When I say shocked, my heart dropped out of my ass. I couldn't believe it. So Sonia's sitting next to me trying to act surprised as well. Like, oh my goodness, really? Oh, wow. The whole time, the bitch knew. So it took like some time for me to find out that, Sonia really was not a good friend. She was really not a good friend. And following, getting more background and information as far as this whole situation happening, my boyfriend, was going to Teresa's house to bring her the money every month for the car insurance and the car note cash. So eventually, you know what they started doing. So he was going to the house to drop off the money, but not only was he dropping off the money, but he was making a deposit. A deposit as in, you know what I mean. So this same person who, when her boyfriend died, I'm there trying to console her. She's spending the night at my house. I gave her some money to kind of help her keep herself on her feet because she was grieving. So now this young lady is screwing my baby father. Now, mind you, I'm so naive. I'm such a kind-hearted person. I was such a giver, and I just truly believed that people had goodness in their heart. But after experiencing the fact that Sonia knew about what was going on and didn't tell me, mind you, we were in our 20s and I've known this girl since 10, 11 years old. And I'm in my early 20s, I would say, because my daughter was maybe 1 or 2 years old. So this happened when I was like 24, 25. So that was my first experience as far as being, what is the word I'm going to say? Being betrayed by my boyfriend, by a childhood friend. I really shouldn't care about, the friendship with Teresa because I met her through Sonia. But when I look at it, birds of a feather flock together. Like, you're not a friend. You are not a true friend. So with that said, to sum it all up, after that experience, I can honestly say that I've experienced PTSD where people have been kind to me and they want to link up and, just be my friend and have fun with me. But it's like, I've been so hurt. I've been hurt so badly to the point where now any kind of female that tries to get close to me or come around me or be my friend, I just feel so uncomfortable. I just feel like this disconnect. It's like I just can't vibe with them because I'm experiencing the pain, or I'm reliving the pain in my head of what I had experienced before, where it's like I find it difficult for me to have friendships and get close with people because I've been burned. So I don't know if that's your experience, but as someone who now in my current life, I don't have any like close friendships, I find it difficult for me to connect and just let my wall down with other women. Um, I don't know. I truly feel that that particular issue is why my life is the way it is. I'm not saying I don't have any friends at all, but it's more surface level. It's not below the surface where it's like really, really close, where I can depend on them and I feel comfortable to share, you know, certain things with them. It's just, I refuse. I just really stick with my immediate family as far as my children, my husband, and I don't know. So, if anything, please mention in the comments as far as why you don't have any friendships. Me personally, I know why I don't have any friends, like real deep, close friends, because I don't know, I'm going to have to see a therapist, because it's like I'm not allowing people to come in. And that is the reason why. And I probably come off like a weirdo or just someone who has their wall up. But just please mention in the comments what your experience is, or why you think you don't have any friends, which is why you feel so lonely and just like you have no one. Let me know. So, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get more videos like this so we can just talk, okay? All right, take care. Bye.